Hey, welcome guys. Welcome to the Thursday's class, almost Friday. So hopefully you guys are doing fantastic. Let's get first with the introduction. I see a couple of you are new. So I'm gonna get started with just the bare basics, usually what we go over Monday, just to let you know where you can find everything so you get up to speed at learning here and also, well, start using the indicators the best way possible. And then we're gonna check out how that we left out in here because basically Bitcoin, it's been playing out as we expected, right? So maybe that double bottom going up, going down once again at the top. Hopefully you guys took that short and then back to our support area right here. So Bitcoin, it's been pounding. So something interesting, and we're going to be talking about that in the 4 hours, it is that this is a fantastic support. We'll see if we are able to hold it and then break through this one. I think all-time highs are going to be broken once again and very strongly. But if we start losing this trend line right down here, I believe that we could be going even much lower. Thus, my alert at 104 for my possible next re-entry. So far in a short, as we talked about yesterday, right? So hopefully you guys are doing fantastic. Already took 50% out at support, just waiting on it and see how that goes. All right, so let's get started. Let me open up a new Discord so we can follow along in here. All right, let's see. Perfect, that's Tyler. We're gonna go to Chart Prime. All right, so we're gonna click here in Chart Prime, and then in here in Chart Prime, I want you to go over and don't worry, I'm gonna just throw it in here, additional content. All right, so let me just copy link. Let me paste it over here. All right, let me paste it so you have it. Here in additional content, you're gonna be seeing my little corner. All right, so you'll see important classes, quick tips, pro suite full tutorials, and bonus content. So I want you to first start it in important classes. Just a little disclaimer, all right, a little warning. This class is out to date in the names, all right? That's it. But the logic behind how the indicators work, it is exactly the same. Not only that, well, all of the strategies, all of the teachings that happens in this class are up to date, all right? So do not get just a little number scare you out of this class. It's a little long, I know, but I think this is the best class I have ever gave, all right? Let's go and watch it. So I want to go over this. Let me just mute it in here. And first, let me show you that it says Market Oracle version 2.1.2. Ignore that, right? Ignore that. The next thing I want you to notice, it is, let's see if I can go back in here. There we go. When you have enabled trend mode, which right now is called trendy, all right? Let me show it to you right here. You see in Market Oracle, either Pro or Plus, doesn't matter. You go to settings, it is trendy, all right? Now, you'll see that we have a trend sensitivity and a trend agility. Instead of giving you two numbers to play around, we just did a differential equation there, right? So basically we matched them out and then came out with a number that changes both, all right, in the best possible way. So just so you know, you get started doing exactly the same, all right, so, well, that is for the moon. If you know, you know. So instead of playing with two numbers, you're gonna be just playing with one single number. My advice, it is for you to start at 10 or at 20. I usually suggest at 20 and then go in 10 increments. That's all that I need to say. But just so it doesn't get into incognito, right? Right here, I explain to you how trend mode works, right? How trend mode works, what is a dynamic reactor, and all of this explanation, it is exactly the same as right now. So we go over the process of looking at what is a trend, how you identify trends, because it's not about me. I'm already a profitable trader. That's why I'm here showing you the indicators, right? But what about you? Are you profitable? Do you want to improve? Perfect. I believe the answer is yes, right? So the secret, and this is what, I don't know, if you get across honest professional traders, you'll see that most of them have a slightly different success story, all right? We all have the same mistakes, just so you know. But the point of in here, what I'm trying to tell you, it is that when you grew up, your brain developed different than mine, and that's completely fine. At the end of it all, Your brain is the best indicators you could ever use, all right? So just keep that in mind. And we're gonna be configuring the indicators to how your brain works. We're not gonna be doing the other way around, because if you already have the best indicator up here, well then let's help it become better, right? Well, we lost you again. You guys lost me again? Oh man. I actually, I still got you. So what is up? You still got me, Rigi. Thank you so much. I still got myself also the recording page from here. So let me see. Mine froze. Mm, can you hear me? I mean, video frozen here. Oh yeah, because it's paused maybe. Because it's paused, isn't it? Oh no, good. I recently maybe this Discord issue. Well, could be it's being a little weird. Or is it just that I paused the video? I don't know. Not frozen here. Thank you, Rigi. Not frozen here. Okay, let me see. Last debugging step here. If you have audio, let me know. If you don't have audio, also let me know. Mine, it's the pause video load. All right. We're getting what? Carnate? I don't know what's that, man. Sorry, you got me lost. Can you explain me? No audio. You can still see and hear perfectly. Thank you, my friend. Thank you, Rigi. Really appreciate it. Please check your output. No, it's still probably because you are close to his location. I don't think so. Yeah, I doubt it too. Yeah, we know each other, Rigi and I. We've been talking. Yeah, exactly. Love it. But that was a good guess, bro. I mean, that was a perfectly good guess. That came back. Perfect. But I can see you speaking now. All right. Shoot. Let's see. Let me reboot on my side. All right, is this better, guys? I'm rebooting on my side and also sharing my screening here. Let's see if we can make this all good again. Thank you, Rigi. Really appreciate it, my friend. Good. All right, I think maybe that fixed it. It's been Discord a little weird. It's all good. All right, let's get it, guys. That was amazing. All right, not the issue, but that we are coming back. All right. So love it, bro. Love it, Rigi. Man, you are the man. Also, you little fish. Thank you so much for sticking around and being around. Also, you stock scalping. Hey, Melissa, what is up? Man, we have so many good people in here. All right. So talking about how to get started, right? The point is that you are able to identify yourself the trends. Remember, just a little tippy here. It is that the trend is the bigger movement, right? Not the itty bitty trade, right? Within a trend, you're gonna have multiple trades, if that makes sense, right? Just keep that in mind, because we want to have trendy or trend mode, right? To show you the trends. So when you get to a threshold, you know where to short and where to long, and you don't get just a lot of noise, right? Or a lot of what I call it interference, right? So like in here. So another thing that we go over, it is that once you have identified those areas, what is a trend? So for me, I marked where the trend is at, because the trend is not at the top. It is when you're breaking a trend line, right? Well then, and this is what I was explaining, that a trend has multiple trades, right? So that's your first trade, your confirmation go down, and every single bounce to the upside, it is a new possible entry, which is a trade, right? So that's why you use your dynamic reactor to configure your trend mode. So sometimes you're gonna have some noise like that. Sometimes it's going to be just unavoidable. But the point is that you just followed this video, right? And you classified what kind of trends you're looking for. So you circle them. And once you circle them, well, then you turn on your, let me just pause this. You turn on your trendy. Make sure you're kind of highlight trend static just so you can see it one color or another, right? And then based on that, let me go to a cleaner chart so you can see it. Let me go to the 4 hours. Perfect. Let me double click in here. Now that you see, for example, for me, this is a trend. For me, this is a trend. And this is a trade, this is a trade, this is a trade, this is a trade, this is a trade. I mean, you get the point, right? And then again, this is a trade, 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 and guess what, right? So look at that now, my trendy, which is, just so you know, it's configured on how my brain works because I already have circled what for me are trends and what are, for me, areas of reversals of top or bottom of trends. Usually at bottoms or tops of the trends, we have little ranges which they overlap with the trend, right? Just so you know. Perfect. Now that we have a clean picture, and I mean, if you're doing the 3 minutes, you just do the same, right? You just scroll up, right, or out, and then I know this is, oh man, 3 minutes. We also had a couple of very nice drawings, which they played out, I guess. All right, too many drawings. Let me just clear this up. I was not aware that we have that many on the 3 minutes. Oops, sorry about that. And I think that's it. Oh, what a nice setup though. All right, now this is clean and clear. If you are in 3 minutes, you just do exactly the same, right? You just hide everything. Just go where is a trend. And for example, for me, this is a trend which has multiple trades. This is a sort of a trend which have multiple trends, right? The lower in time frame that you go, the more volatility you're going to have. Just quick advice, do whatever volatility makes sense for you. All right. So for me, for example, this volatility doesn't make sense for me. So I can go, instead of 3 minutes, I can go to the 15 minutes. 15 minutes, it looks much less volatility. Perfect. Look at that. And much better trends. Something that I need to tell you, right? Because if you're here, I believe that you're here because you want to make some money, right? And if you're going to be here to making some money, I want to be that friend that doesn't matter what happens, it's always going to be on your side, but also it's not going to be condescending. If that makes sense, right? Not because I'm your friend, I'm gonna let you hear what you want to hear. I'm gonna tell you what I believe it is the best for you, right? Or not the best for you, but I'm gonna be giving you my clear, unbiased, as much as I can, perspective, right? So here's the thing, and this is also what happened to me. I started at 3 minutes because in my brain, it was, all right, in the 3 minutes, I can do more trades, right? In less amount of time equals more gains, all right? First mistake, it is not starting looking at where am I good at? Where do I see clean trends, all right? That means that I'm not gonna be seeing clean trades unless they have already happened, or the amount of volatility was just so insanely high that even if I catch the trade, right? For example, right here, sometimes, well, then trying to enter in here at half of a movement, the volatility took me out, and then that represented a loss because my brain was not capable, and that is fine, right? That is not capable to counteract this kind of movement. We have, for example, Rigid Classic in here that he goes to very low time frames, very fast. His brain is so good at short time frames, right? And we have Little Fish that is a little bit more conservative. If I'm not mistaken, please remind me or let me know, Little Fish, if I'm correct, right? You're more conservative, but you're more solid on your trades, right? It doesn't matter. The point is that you're here to make money, and you're not making money cheating yourself, if that makes sense, right? You make money looking at where you're good at and exploiting that goodness, if that makes sense, all right? So let the 1 minute for those YouTubers, right? Who knows how really profitable they are, right? And then, hey, Cobalt, what is up, bro? Long time no see. Nice to have you around, bro. I stick to the 1 minute more these days, but I've traded on the 15 seconds. Holy shit, a lot in the past. Absolutely. JR, I mean, you're also fantastic in trading. What is your take on here? Let me know. I'm good everywhere. 30 minutes and 60 minutes. Perfect. So as you can see, it is not a matter. I mean, we all are happy with our gains, right? We are being profitable, right? Maybe some more than others, but this is not a competition between VG, JR, Little Fish, and I, or even stock scalping. I mean, ask stock scalping. He came in here and he was starting, hey, I nailed this. Hey guys, I nailed that, right? And then he started building up his strategy. And now I can say it with confidence because he's been very, in every single class, sharing his progress that he is a profitable trader. Not only that, I can also tell that he is working on his on the detail of entry, right? Not in the bulk of making money, which is where you want to get to, right? Just improving your strategy, not just building it from scratch, because right now this is what you need to do, right? Build it from scratch for the best way possible, all right? So I know I'm talking too much, but that is how important it is, the trendy, because the trend is your friend, right? And if I could give you one single advice, would be trade with the trend. That's it. Because trend theory is just, I mean, hands down, the most important trend. I mean, heck, don't use indicators. And you may be saying, hey, brother, I just bought your indicators. How can you call and tell me that? Well then, yeah, but above selling indicators, we sell education, right? I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I use the indicators and I feel sometimes that I could not be making the trades that I do with the indicators. But that doesn't mean that I cannot go without indicators. And that's what you need. First, learn the basics, right? And let me give them to you really quick because it only takes like 5 minutes. Let's go something like, I don't know, let's just do this, whatever, it is in the middle. Oh, it's BTC, so let's just scroll down something that is not BTC. C90, too choppy, let's do Canadian, perfect. This is it, all right? Are you saying that you lost a lot on low time frames? I lost thousands of trades and many savings before I got okay-ish. Maybe I think that's what he's saying. I mean, we all have a curve. I blow off 2 accounts, man. One of those got me very depressed, just so you know. Personal stuff, but I think you need to hear that. And that's why we're here, for you not to make the same mistakes, right? Only after you switch to higher time frames, like 30 minutes, 1 hour. No. It's not. It's about doing the things the right way, right? If you just think that you're gonna be Jesus Christ at trading, right? Man, I'm going to hell for that. I'm a religious guy, just so you know, right? Most likely you're gonna overestimate your capabilities. I'm not saying. I mean, you could be a genius, right? We never know, but most of us, we're not, and we need a series of plans, right? We need an educational system to learn and then stick to what it works for us. I believe what he meant. No, I lost every time frame. Well, yeah, I started 6 months ago. Yeah, correct. So you're all over the place, right? That is the point, that you're all over the place until you get your shit together. And this is what this class is about, right? Getting your shit together. So for example, 3 minutes, Canadian against, what was that? Swiss franc, right? All right. So what I do, zoom out as much as I can, right? And then identify your trends. Well, in the 3 minutes, my trend is this. What is a trend is broken? Really easy. When my trend line is broken, is it broken now? It is not. So my trend is not broken. When is it broken? I don't know and I don't care, but until it's broken, retest and off we go, and I have a higher low and a higher high, that is my entry. And that's it. And I don't care if I don't get in here. I get after confirmation, breakout retest, and if I go for the next trend. right? For example, the same thing here. Where's your trend line? Something like that. When is the trend broken? Breakout, not retest, but pullback. We create a top range like we did in here, like we did in Bitcoin, right? Not doesn't always happen the same way. You just need to learn. Remember, part of trend analysis is knowing the trend reversal signals, right? And then what happens? Breakout retest. Oh, we have a low. We have a lower high. We have a lower low. Well, your entry is in here the way up to your next resistance, and then, well, you just short it all the way down. Easy peasy. No indicators. I mean, I know the indicators, they're already there and looks fantastic, but that's because I configured them that way, right? Let's go even farther back down. I don't know. Remember, identify your trend. Let's go, for example, in here. That do I see any trends? Not really. Well, if I don't see it, I don't trade it. Easy. You're not letting go things that you don't know. You're protecting yourself, right? And you mainly sticking to 3 minutes. Oh no, boy. Oh no. 4 hours, it's my stuff. But I'm just going into 3 minutes because I'm not that good on 3 minutes, and I want to show you with proof of concept that you can do the same thing as you get a plan, right? I like the 3 minutes and look for a candle that is pushing into upper and lower bands. All right. But you're now talking about indicators. Do you know the basics? Could you trade without indicators? If the answer is yes, all right, then apply the indicators to what you use. If the answer is no, oh, stock scalping, man. But you already have a strategy, bro. Low bands, and also happened. Yeah, you already are here, so it's been order blocks. Perfect. There's the moment logo. Sorry, that changes things because, I mean, I do remember when you just joined. Yeah, you're not new. You're not a newbie, bro. I like 3 minutes. And look for candles that is pushing into the upper and lower bands that also happened to be in order blocks. That is a perfect situation. All right, let me explain that. Maybe he cannot share the screen, and it does make sense. For example, let me explain that for the new members. Oh, come on. Let me just get rid of this. All right. Let me just clear this up. Let's do it right here. All right. Stock scalping already has a strategy. All right. He's looking for reversals. He's looking for maybe that candle that pushes into clouds. All right. Those clouds usually measure outstanding movements. Where can you find those clouds? There's two kinds of clouds. One of those is in the Market Oracle Plus, the Pro, whichever, right? And then you can, let me turn it on. And wait. Let's do it in here. All right. And then you go in here and is, what is it? Bands. And I like the quantum bands. They're cleaner. But prime clouds perfectly. All right. So let's turn it on. And then I believe, and please stop scalping, correct me if I'm wrong, you're using the clouds as a measurement of your trend. Candlestick that is pushing into the upper or lower bands and also happen to be in an order block while playing. So the point is, look at when we change, and also I think this gives him inner trade. So for example, candles that are pushing into the clouds, and then they also happen to be on a support resistance or an order block. What happened here in the clouds are pushing through and then at a resistance for the short. Where to? Right there. What are those bands? They are on your Market Oracle. Click the gear icon, go lower, and then you'll find additional features and bands right below candle highlights. Oracle bands. So you use the Oracle bands. Prime, which are the prime clouds, isn't it? Yeah, Oracle. Yeah. You're just using the Pro version, not the Plus version, which is the same. And this is the Plus version, which are just a little bit more cleanup, right? But that's it. Nice. That's fantastic, Zuizi. Love it. All right. So now that we are in understanding that you use the basics and then you trade on the basics, right? Well, you just look for bottoming patterns and then breakout retest and then add your indicators. For example, right here, let me show you. I have, and let's get started with the very basic. What is my trend line? Here, it's already an automatic trend line, right? I can also do my own, like in here, or maybe, yeah, because this is a parabolic session, but that's fine. Or like in there, which is the whatever, right? The point is that where do I know it's going to be bouncing? I don't know, but that's what I can use my indicators to make my life easier. But I can go back in time and see, oh, look at here, there was a support zone. We're close to a support zone. We're close to a support zone, right? And then we can look for that momentum. Well, then let's turn on support resistances. Where are those? There we go. I'm at a support zone. Very, I don't know, we're breaking through. I'm in a discount zone, which is also a support zone. On my bands, I'm not there yet on the band, so I could be waiting for a band heat up, and then, oh, there we go, a flip of the ribbon. Why? Because this is changing the momentum direction. Look at your flip of the ribbon. It ranged or slightly went up. Flip of the ribbon. It ranged or slightly went downwards, right? And that's what you want to combine. Some sort of support with a flip of the ribbon, right? Or your support can be your bands, could be your order blocks, could be your discount zones, could be your volume profile, could be your predictive ranges, could be whatever you like, right? So for example, in here, we could be looking for multiple supports. And that is the key. Right, so multiple areas of support. For example, I have the bands. I have this area here, and also I have this one. So far I'm going to a resistance. Maybe I could be going forward down here and then upwards. If it doesn't, who cares? If it goes up, because I could be having a just V-shaped recovery, well, then I wait for the breakout retest. All right, so what is the breakout retest? Breakout through trend lines, going into a order block, retracing to whatever I need to retrace, which usually is the very next support zone. And my entry is in there as soon as I'm breaking through the zero line. And for you to set up your zero line, you can go in here, horizontal, click, double click, zero, enter, okay, right click, unlock it. That's it, right? And then as the ribbon is breaking through the zero line, that is my confirmation. And then off we go, TP1 on the next resistance, TP2 on the next resistance, and then the rest is just trailing it. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. All right, so for the new members. First, and I know I diverged a lot, but I think that was a good one. All right, new members, go into additional content, watch important classes, class number 1, all right? Remember, the only thing that is different, it is your trendy signal mode trend mode, which is no longer trend sensitivity, trend agility. It is now just one single thing, which is trendy number, right? I advise you to go on 20 and then 30, 40, and 50, 60, 70, whatever you need. And then once something is very close to what you want, slightly adjust. So for me, I went to 40, then went to 50, and 50 was, no, that was too much. Went back to 40, and then 41, 42, 43, 44, oh, a little bit too much, 43, right? So that's how I learned how to get my trendy. It is fully explaining here, even though when you say trend sensitivity and trend agility, just ignore those numbers, and remember the combination of those two are your trendy, right? Perfect. And then everything else is the same. And another very important part that I teach you here, which I go into market structure, I go into reversals. This is the next most important thing, explain you how reversals work, all right? There's 3 kinds of reversals, all right? We have first V-shaped recoveries or V-shaped reversals. Perfect, that's what everybody wants to have. We have number 2, breakout retest, what I always drill your brains with, right? And when we have a breakout of a support or resistance and we have a reversal, it is not, hey, we're not gonna hold, it is, hey, look for your next support or resistance because we could be looking into that for the next continuation. like in that. You see that we're breaking through a resistance, we have a flag, we retrace, and then off we go. All right, so like that. The other way around is like that. And then finally we have something like the Wyckoff flat pause, right, which is basically a flat pause of continuation with a reversal. Basically that gives you the heads up. You want to see one of those examples? Here it is. And I give you every and each example in this class just so you understand what you're looking at and how to use those reversals, right? So just be aware that those reversals also need support and resistances. You can use predictive ranges, support and resistances, or order blocks or whatever. I use predictive ranges, all right? Another important thing, it is support and resistance zones. It's just support and resistance, but they are not in smart money concepts. All of the smart money concept had migrated into, show it to you, into Market Dynamics Pro. So in Market Dynamics Pro, now you will find all of the things that were inside market and smart money concepts, just so you know, right? Like predictive ranges, like support and resistance, and so on and so forth. At the end of this class, I also show you, well, this is the next most important thing, how to read your oscillator and what are the clusters, right? So what they mean. And then at the end of the class, I show you a strategy, a beginner strategy, a 1, 2, 3 step strategy on how to use your indicators and how to combine them. So that is called confluence. And then I also go ahead and show you how to calculate your entry, how to calculate your stop loss, all right? Let's go at the very end. How to calculate your entry, then how to calculate your stop loss. If you don't have a reference point, then how to take some profits. And finally, how to take a reversal entry trade. Right, so, and that was it. So basically, watch this video. I think it's one of the most important videos that you could see in this channel. And then you scroll down and you'll find many other things. Like for example, the VPVR. You want to learn how to use the VPVR? Here it is, right? We gave a full class on the VPVR. You want to zero knowledge strategy? Are you feeling lazy and you just want to get going with making money? Perfect. You don't need to know anything by using these indicators. And it's pretty sweet though, but I do recommend that you know what you're doing, right? So yeah. What else? What was this one? In depth and my trainings, divergences. So I explained how divergences work. Pivots. I explained how pivots work. What is it? My layering system. Basically, how do I configure, or why do I have that many indicators, and how do I configure them and use them properly? Because I mean, I don't know about you. Let me just get rid of this bands. I don't know about you, right? But I'd rather be able to have, let's go over this, to have a much cleaner chart, right? That I can add or subtract stuff, right? You see how clean that becomes? Then pushing everything all together in one single layer. I mean, go ahead and give me an analysis on that. I don't know about you, but I just can't. I just don't even see price action, right? So this is one of the most common mistakes. Add everything inside one indicator. So I show you how to layer your indicators and how do I configure mine to use them, right? Another quick tip is this, because I'm an instructor, I usually try to use as many as I can. And that is because I understand that your style might not be the same as mine. And you might be more inclined, for example, to use the bands, right? So I've migrated, I no longer use the bands myself to trade, but I need to acknowledge that the bands are absolutely perfect. But my brain just works faster with other tools, if that makes sense, right? So how does your brain works? What is the fastest thing? Does it make sense, right? So do you see a tool and you say, hey, disconnected, man, disconnected, right? And if that connected with you, use it, experiment, and then add another thing that also connected and see how that played out, right? Quantum bands and reversal signals offer a good confluence. That's amazing. When matched with liquidity zones, order blocks, etc. Oh, that is a good one, man. I need to try that out, bro. Thank you. Thank you for sharing, brother. Stocks capital thing, a difference for it's different for everyone. Absolutely. I agree with that. Depends on what you can see and what makes sense to you. Absolutely. My chart has 7 indicators, but I'm looking at a dozen things at the same time. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So that concludes the introduction. We still have 15 minutes. Let's take a look at Bitcoin and let's get to use the indicators. All right. So new members, again, don't freak out. These are pro indicator grades, right? Pro grade indicators, sorry. Which means just like Photoshop. If you turn on everything at once, you're gonna get overwhelmed. All right. That doesn't mean that a beginner cannot use Photoshop in an amazing way, right? And also we try to make it as easy as possible. Once again, check out additional content, important classes. And if you don't want to battle, just do the layering system first and then do the zero knowledge chart prime strategy. Those are the easiest 2 things that you need to that I could suggest you to watch if you are not interested or learning anything about trading. If you're just interested on, all right, where should I be longing, where should I be shorting? And that will be it, all right? Quick tips, that has one of the most important things if you want to learn, which is how to trade the bull market series. Just so you know, we were looking at on the 2024 when the bull market started. I go in, are you in a losing trade? Part 1. And are you in a losing trade? Part 2. Basically, how to manage different ways to manage your losing trade. Sometimes a losing trade has no rescue. All right. So this is all of the strategies that you could have at your disposal if the losing trade has a saving possibility. If not, sometimes it's just better to take the kick in the balls, all right, and move on. Because that's no other way to describe it. They kick you in the butt. It's just like adding insult to the injury, right? But sometimes we just got to take it. All right. Then I go over a little bit more on this is surviving a losing trade. A little bit more on when we had losing trades throughout the live classes and how we managed to turn them around. All right. Then part 2, which is shorting the bull market. Move with the trend, but if you absolutely need to, here is how to short the bull market, right? And then what else? Looking for an entry or re-entry. Perfect. If the trend is moving fast, how do you go for entries or re-entries? And then finally, we have the results of our trades and you can check out the dates to correspond with each trade that we do, right? Just so you know. Other than that, it is on additional content. We have, I think that will be the most important part on quick tips, the series. And then my settings, well, I explained it on the ledgering. I explained the most recent on important classes, my ledgering strategy. What is it? My ledgering, I think it was the last video, maybe? Yeah, layering system. I explain my settings in here and the logic behind those settings. So yeah, I think that would be it. Let's go take a look, man. I want to say so many things at the same time. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. All right, BTC. Let's zoom out first. Sounds like a smart per trade analysis. I don't do that. I need to do what? It's surprising how often the levels get respected. Also start. Oh, I see. Oh, yeah, it looks very amazing. I also want to take a look into it. All right. So this is the 3 minutes. Let's go into the 4 hours here. It's gonna be a little bit messy. Stick with me, right? The first thing that I want to show you, it is that we zoom out, right? We always zoom out. It doesn't matter what time frame you are. You want to zoom out just to identify what is the trend. What is the trend now? It's upwards, right? It's upwards. It's a bullish trend. Perfect. But are we on resistance zones? Yes, in fact, we're broke through retest and we're flagging out. Most likely, we could be having either a sweep of the lows, and that's why I have my BDs crossing here. Let me just move it slightly above just to get it above these areas in here, right? Sweep of the lows as we've seen in the past. You want an example? Let me give you an example here. We range, sweep of the lows, off we go, secondary flip, and we push through, right? Let me give you another example because this is all over the place. We range, sweep of the lows, right? And then we push through, right? Let's see what else. And it needs to be an upwards trending here. For example, in here, sweep of the lows and then upwards movement. Again, in here, sweep of the lows and then movement to the upside. All right. So a sweep of the lows, and let me just get rid of this. We no longer need that. Sweep of the lows is still on the game. All right. Where to? Where our big support will be at. All right. So the first thing that we're going to be looking for, it is flip of the ribbon. Do we have already a flip of the ribbon? Let me just get rid of everything that I have in here. Perfect. Yes, we do have a flip of the ribbon. What else do we need in here? Well, then, if you're looking at the 4 hours long term, I think this could be a double bottom or a sweep of the lows as we spoke. Why? Look at the candle. Look at the bearish candle. Do you want to take the risk? Go ahead. I think I will, but not quite there yet, right? I will be trying to get it at some support. What is my support? First, I have my trend line, right? Do I have anything else on that trend line? And this is what I meant with, right? Look at that. I can turn on and turn off my layers. What is my support in here? What is my dynamic reactor in there, right? What do I have any other supports or anything? Yeah, look at that. I have a bar in here, right? What is it? I don't care. It's a bar. It's a support, right? So that is part of the I don't care strategy, which is a zero knowledge strategy, right? Then what else? Oh, look at that. There is a huge order blocks. Order blocks are magnetic. So if the price is going down, we should be having that magnetic reaction, even if they are support. Does that make sense? So sweep of the lows. You see that? We're at where the bulk of my support is at. All right. So I'm going to be leaving it a little bit of time for do this, right? Or even move slightly upwards like that. All right. And then maybe create, and this is what I like, a bullish divergence. What is a bullish divergence? Your oscillator, your movement going up, you see, with higher lows, but your price going down is diverging. Usually divergence corresponds to market manipulation, all right? Just so you know. So if we are getting manipulated, well, then there is just so much that the market can be manipulated, right? Or they're willing to be manipulated. So we just push it to the big support where the bulk of the people might be looking at, and that's where we take the risk to long it at this point. Because always opening a position, it is a risk, all right? Just so you guys know. All right, perfect. So I think it's very clear. Isn't it, guys? Any questions on Bitcoin so far, what I'm looking at? No questions. All right. Now, especially for the new members, this is what I like to do. I have a primary analysis, which is this. What is my analysis? It's going to go down to my support areas. Why do I not short it? Because I'm not 100% sure. It's just an analysis. I cannot see the future. So I look for the best area of entry. I just don't risk my money. It's just like a hunter, right? The hunter or a huntsman goes out in the woods, right? I think all sounds great. Thank you, my friend. Really appreciate it, brother. A hunter goes out in the woods, right? Chooses, looks at the terrain and says, oh, look at, there is, I don't know, there is deer's stuff in here. Here is like where a deer likes to go. Well, I'm as a price hunter, I go in the charts and it says, hey, what are my order blocks? Usually price goes to the order blocks, right? Well, what is my support? What is my resistance, right? Where I think I could be going in. Then what does the hunter do? Picks a point where he has a clean and clear picture of where is the most likely a deer to go to. He knows that the deer could be in that area, right? He's not looking at that single tree, and he's not like, all right, if the deer is right next to a tree, I'm not gonna shoot it, right? Only the deer goes into the tree. No, come on. It's just a zone, right? You do the same thing here. You look at your charts, you set your post, right? You take your rifle, you load your rifle, right? And then you wait for the deer, aka the price action, to go the area that you think is most likely to go. And then you see the deer coming, you be patient, you see the deer coming, you be patient. Oh, it's now on support. Let's look at our scope. Is it still enough? All right, are we having a bullish divergence? Do we have a higher low in here? Are we on big support? Is it a big body candle, right? How is our momentum in here, right? Well, is it low momentum, ready to break back into a good momentum? Do we have some bullish divergence? Do we have a higher low? You see this higher low, right? Well, I do. Well, then what do? I pull the trigger. I pull the trigger. What is pulling the trigger? Go into your broker, set up an entry. How accurate you think you could be? That's the next thing. Remember, you're always going for the kill shot, right? If you're gonna hit the deer, you're gonna kill it. Don't take this shot. You're just gonna make the animal suffer. The only difference in here is that you're gonna make yourself suffer, not the price of Bitcoin. All right, so that's the only difference. But you only when you're sure. You're never 100% sure, just so you know. But how confident are you? And then when you say, all right, maybe I feel like it's going lower. All right, you feel like, but what is the evidence? Does it have maybe a bigger area? Like, for example, let's go and do it right now. I see an order blocking here, but maybe I feel like it could be going lower. So what am I gonna go? It is my primary area of entry, long position. How confident am I? I don't know, maybe I'm 50%. Exactly, statistical probabilities. Exactly, man. You know that. And then, all right, how probable is it? All right, maybe I don't think it's that confident. Maybe I think it could be something else. Maybe, the news are bearish, right? All right, I can play it with my position size. Maybe I can add half of a position. And then what is the next probability zone? All the way here between the two big AF supports and the end of the loud order block and the next big bar in here. All right, let's add that the second entry in here, another half of a position, in the way that when the price action goes all the way down here, you average down your position and you have a much better win rate, right? So it's not duplicating your entry. No. My entry, my entries, it is 3% of my wallet. For you, it can be whatever you choose to. My recommendation, never go above 5% per entry, all right? All right, one entry. But I can divide that single entry into multiple other entries to take advantage of the probabilistic areas of hitting it, if that makes sense. All right, it's like, all right, I have, I don't know, let's just say I have $20. Each ticket of lottery cost me, I don't know, what is it, $10 or something? So I still have $20 I can choose to use it, right, on the same ticket lottery, maybe buy two of the same, right, to duplicate my win rate, or I can maybe choose a different number or a different lottery thing. You know that there's the national lottery and then there's other stuff, right? Maybe I can buy two different with different numbers. That way, if I don't hit one, maybe I can hit another one, right? Still, don't compare this to lottery because it has more technicals behind it, all right? All right, so that is the first thing for your plan A. But here's what I wanted to get to. What if I'm wrong? What if the market manipulation goes the other way around? What if maybe today I just drink so much coffee that I'm so excited that I believe that it's going to go high or low, right? And then go boom, and it's not. Maybe I'm missing something, right? And here's the thing. Sometimes you get too confident, and do not make that mistake. Because with these indicators, it's easy to start getting overconfident. All right, especially when you see how easy they are to use them. When you're layering and when you are just 2 or 3 of them, right? So when you get overconfident, maybe you start losing some points of importance. So regardless if I see a 99% chances to go here, where is that 1%? And that 1% is for this to go up and go to Valhalla. All right? How do I mitigate that? Well, if I see a movement to the upside, I already have a big body candle, right? And let me show you something that you need to see here. Big body candle up, indecision, big body candle down, downwards, right? The same applies the other way around. If for some reason I already have this big body candle, and then this one, it's a doji candle, a small candle, and then a big body candle up here, just wait for the next candle. Is it breaking? All right, perfect. Take the breakout. Long the breakout. So you see how you change your mind fast? Why? Because we have 2 more things, 2 more data points, which is indecision candle. All right, I'm not sure. The market's telling you, I'm not sure that I would still want to go lower. And then you see a regret candle, right? All right, we went down, we got going up. All right, so you ask the market, what's it gonna be, bro? What's it gonna be? You wait for the next candle. Is it breaking important resistance? In this case, would be. So I rather go for the breakout retest. Off we go. But you're not me. Maybe you want to go for the breakout, right? So now plan B, now we're talking about plan B going the other way around, right? Plan B would be, how do I trade this? All right, let's do it exactly the same. Where is my resistance? All right, so if the candle, the third candle start breaking through here, I'm longing it, all right? Where to? What is my next trend line in here, which also coincides with a, what is that? That is your liquidity zone. So you see the confluence? Confluence is the gathering of 2 or more indicators at the same zone, right? So if I have resistance here, it's not about your breakout, all right? It's about your retest. Where is my retest? Maybe all the way down here. Maybe I'll still be making a higher low, right? So once I hit here, TP1, move your stop to entry, wait for it to go low, you lose nothing here. You wait for your flip of the ribbon. There we go. You re-enter here, and then you reopen your trade. And still, you are going to be making a higher low. All right? Does that make sense? Do you see how am I using the indicators to predict market structure? Right? I'm not sure exactly that it's going to be moving like that. But that's why I'm fast to change my mind when I see some stuff. Again, for example, let's go and open this one up. What if instead of breakout retesting here, breaks out, and instead of retracing for my next entry, what if starts doing this? Oh, bull flag or Bart Simpson. Now, I'm not waiting for a retracement. I'm looking for my oscillator. So is it breaking out to the 0 line? Yes, it is. Is it going out now of my trend line? Oh, yes, it is. Right? So what I do? I move my stop to entry. Could I still have a sweep of the lows? Yes, I can, but I prepare. What do I prepare for? Stop me out, break back above my trend line. I re-enter in here with a new stop loss, maybe around here, then aim for my next resistance. You see that? So I'm changing and slightly changing how I execute my trades based on all of the possible variations. But I already know that I have covered the bulk of them. It either goes up or down, man. There's no other way. Well, right, because I've never seen it go left, right? So that is the key, man. If it starts getting hard, it is because you're overthinking it. Go back out. And if you don't see anything, let it go. Shit. Oh. All right. Sorry. Weird noises around here. Another important thing, it is when you are in doubt, come here, man. We're a community. We got your back. We're not going to tell you buy or sell. That's something that we're not going to do. All right. Just so you know, we're not going to tell you where to buy, where to sell. Where I'm sort of like, right, but I'm giving you the chance for you to make your own decisions. But we're in doubt, come in here, we're going to give you our opinion, right? Everybody, we're an amazing community. And you have different perspectives. If the perspective doesn't help, forget about them. Remember, every one of us, it's different. Look for your niche and stick to that niche. All right? So that's all that I had for today. Guys, hopefully that was a good class. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. It had a lot of, I would say not technicals, but one-on-one trading style situation things. I really appreciate you guys helping me here. I want to do a special shout out to Melissa, JR, Star Scalping, Little Fish, Rigi Classic. You guys are amazing. Thank you for stopping by and sharing not only content, but also sharing your personal experience. I think that adds to the community like a lot. So I want you guys to shout you out, especially here. Thank you for stopping by. Really appreciate when you participate. Really appreciate when you throw those hard questions. I enjoy it. And guys, if you're new here, well then keep going to the classes. Get better, right? If you feel that there are some dumb questions, ask them. Those are my favorites, right? And then if you have some hard questions, also ask them. Those are my second favorite questions. All right. And if for some reason I don't know the answer, because I'm just not a genius, right? I'll investigate it and I'll help you out, right? And we'll learn together, right? So that's the point of a community. So guys, thank you so much for joining. And as always, see you guys tomorrow. Have a great Thursdays. Tomorrow, Friday, start making your plans. All right, guys, thank you and bye-bye.